What's up, everybody? Welcome to Beta Update Week 8? Yeah, Week 8. Oh my god, it's already been 8 weeks. This is Wabacha. Let's jump right into it. We had 2 new unique maces that were revealed last week to us on the forums. The first one is the Calanellis Malleus Auric mace. My biggest complaint with this mace is there's not a pronunciation key in the flavor text of this mace, as it is very difficult to figure out how to say Calanellis Malleus Auric mace. But anyway, of the 2 maces, this mace is the one with the higher physical DPS. What is interesting about it is that it has a mod on there where you can no longer knock back enemies, and all of your attack damage does chill enemies. I'm curious why these are paired together on this mace. I wonder what they were going for or what they were trying to eliminate with this. I'm not sure how popular this mace is going to be. It does have some nice physical DPS. This might be a weapon that we see people use in transition from one item to another. It may be used with the next mace, which is the Death's Hand Karui Scepter. Now, the Death's Hand Karui Scepter is much more interesting than the first one for the simple reason that it gives you a 30% chance to gain a power charge on stun. Now, this combined with maces makes for an interesting and seems like a great way to generate power charges. Recently, people have been talking about how it is much easier to generate power charges versus their counterparts, the endurance charge and a frenzy charge, and this is not helping that argument at all. In addition to this, the mace grants you Unholy Might for 2 seconds whenever you deal a critical strike. So the damage on this is a little bit lower, fully qualityed up, and I'd imagine with max rolls it's going to be somewhere in the 180 to 220 physical DPS range. Maybe the goal of it is to give someone a reliable way to generate power charges and to have Unholy Might with relatively high uptime. I personally would like to try this out with the new Tempest Shield. Ha! Segue. So, Tempest Shield got reworked finally. Rory was talking about it this week on the forums. Tempest Shield is no longer a flat mana reservation, but instead you cast it and it gives you a buff that is refreshed whenever you block. When you do successfully block, it deals lightning damage to the attacking enemy and it chains to one other enemy, kind of like a mini arc. I am not sure if we could scale this damage high enough to make it viable to clear endgame content, but it is interesting nonetheless. On top of this, in its current form, it is something that we can use with cast when damage taken, since it is a spell. And now that Tempest Shield no longer has that aura reservation, we now have Arctic Armor with its aura reservation. Arctic Armor was changed last week, and Angry AA posted a video on his YouTube talking about it a lot. And seriously, Angry AA? That video was so well done. You said it so perfectly. I understand the old Arctic Armor had its difficulties and it was mechanically confusing to a lot of players, but really, it felt great when you achieved that next level of gear so you could bump up your level of Arctic Armor from 17 to 18 or 20 to 21, or you corrupted it and got level 22 Arctic Armor. It was fun to build around Arctic Armor, and again, Angry AA says this so well. I'm going to put the link down below for you guys. On this week's State of the Beta post by Carl, they talked about a lot of things. The new life leech changes that we are seeing on beta, the new item affixes, and the changes to status ailments. Starting with the leech changes, leech has been reduced by 80% across the board. This is not to say it's going to be 80% less effective. There are multiple new clusters in the duelist region of the tree that increase leech effectiveness. There are even some clusters that are tied to existing weapon clusters. But one of these clusters does raise a question for me. The southernmost life leech notable, Hematophagy, says that you get 15% increased damage while leeching. And I am curious how this works with Vaal Pact, because Vaal Pact states that you get all of your leech instantly. So if you're getting your leech instantly, does this not work? It is a little weird to have all these leech clusters and how they seem like they would make Vaal Pact better. However, one of the ones that I'd imagine a lot of people are going to be looking to get because of that increased damage will not work. It appears that status ailments were reworked to make it a little bit more clear for the player to understand how long they should expect a status ailment to last. In addition to this, it makes it much more clear on why someone would want to take the passes on the tree that increase duration of status ailments. All the new affixes to add elemental damage to your spells have also been listed in the State of the Beta post. You can roll up to an additional 49 to 85 fire damage for your spells, 40 to 69 cold damage for your spells, and 10 to 133 lightning damage for your spells, all of which require an item level of 74. This past week, Poison Arrow has been getting quite a bit of attention. IAO posted a video on YouTube showing a proof of concept for a degen and regen ranger, while we also had the YouTube user Surleth posted a Poison Arrow MF build where he ran Itziri. If you'd like to see more about Poison Arrow, we also have Havoc streaming on his Twitch right now, playing a Poison Arrow build. With all the changes that we've been seeing, Poison Arrow looks to be in a very good place right now, and when 2.0 is released, it looks like it's going to be one of the predominant builds that we see in Path of Exile. And finally, we are starting to see divination cards drop on the beta. I think GGG has done a great job of matching a card to its theme of where it's going to drop in Rayclast. Although at the very start of this most recent wipe, the drop rates for the cards were higher than they intended to be, but they have since been fixed, and we are starting to see what they are going to truly be like on the live realms. Thank you very much for watching Beta Update Week 8. Follow, like, subscribe. I'll see you next week. Hey! Hey! My son's over there. Hey! He's watching me while I do this. Hey!